let's talk about a strange and honestly kind of unsettling pattern. It's something that once you see it, you'll start noticing it absolutely everywhere. We're going to call it the virtue paradox. So think about it for a second. Have you ever gotten that weird feeling, when a company or a politician starts shouting from the rooftops about some noble virtue, and a little alarm bell goes off in your head, making you wonder, what are they not telling me? Well, it turns out that gut feeling is probably right on the money. Okay, so check this out. There's this ancient idea that says when great benevolence and justice suddenly appear, it's actually a warning sign. And what does that look like today? Well, it's when a company with some pretty shady ethics suddenly launches a huge, glossy corporate social responsibility campaign. They're making a big show of their charity and fairness, often at the exact moment their actual business practices are, less than just. And it doesn't stop there. The same old texts also say, when great wisdom emerges, you should probably look around for what's wrong. Today, we call that greenwashing. All of a sudden, the biggest polluters are out there giving us TED Talks about their incredible environmental wisdom while their factories are still, polluting. The wisdom shows up right on schedule to provide a little cover. This pattern even weaves its way into our society. When does talk about filial piety or family values get the loudest? It's often when those very family structures are showing cracks, when alienation and conflict are on the rise. The more the reality starts to fade, the louder the praise for the ideal becomes. And one last one for you, patriotic heroes emerge. Now, we all love to celebrate a brave whistleblower, right? But think about what their heroism really means. It means the system they came from, whether it's a government or a corporation, was so fundamentally broken that one person had to risk their entire career just to get the truth out. So what on earth ties all of these weird paradoxes together? Well, there's a key that unlocks this whole pattern. It's an ancient diagnosis, really. It explains exactly why these virtues get so loud, precisely when they seem to be missing in action. And here it is. This is the kicker. Virtues only need to be shouted, advertised, and put on billboards when their opposites have become the norm. You only have to talk about benevolence when cruelty is common. You only have to market your wisdom when foolishness is running the show. The virtue isn't just a virtue anymore, it becomes a giant flashing arrow pointing directly at a huge problem. Here's a simple way to think about it. A massive, state-of-the-art hospital is, on one hand, a symbol of incredible medical achievement. But on the other hand, its very existence proves that there's a whole lot of sickness in the community. A truly, deeply healthy society wouldn't need a giant hospital on every corner. In the same way, a truly healthy organization doesn't need to constantly talk about its virtues. It just has them. So, now that we get the trick, we can actually turn this whole paradox into a super useful diagnostic tool. We can learn to read the symptoms around us, to figure out how healthy a system really is, whether it's your workplace, your country, or even just yourself. For instance, the next time your company rolls out mandatory integrity training for everyone, don't think, oh great, we're building integrity. A better thought would be, what happened that made this necessary? It's a sign that the culture is already in trouble. Same thing goes for politics. When a leader can't stop talking about unity, you can bet it's because the reality on the ground is just intense division. Let's go a little deeper. A company starts handing out shiny loyalty awards. What's the symptom? Loyalty. But what's the root failure they're trying to paper over? Probably a toxic work culture where no one wants to stick around. Or what about those heartwarming viral fundraisers for someone's medical bills? The praised symptom is generosity. But the root failure? It's a glaring signal that the basic social safety net isn't working for people. Okay, so this brings us to the really important question. If we can diagnose the problem, what do we actually do about it? The key is to stop getting distracted by the flashy band-aids and start looking for the actual cures. Here's a perfect way to picture it. A surface fix is when a fast food chain known for greasy burgers and fries makes a huge deal about adding one single salad to its menu. That's a performance. It's theater. A deep fix? That would be that same company rethinking its entire business model to make genuinely healthy food that's also affordable
and, actually taste good. One is a PR stunt, the other is real change.
So for any leaders out there, the message is pretty clear. Stop building monuments to your firefighters, start fireproofing the building. Don't wait for a scandal to hit the news before you invest in an ethical system. And please, replace the useless integrity workshops with the things that actually create integrity. Paying people fairly, giving them real autonomy, and treating them with respect. And for the rest of us, this is like a new superpower for our brains. The next time the news is celebrating some incredible hero, just pause and ask yourself, that's amazing, but what system failed so badly that this person had to become a hero in the first place? The next time you see a big charity event, ask, is this helping fix the root cause, or is it just putting a nice-looking patch on a deep wound? And we can absolutely turn this lens on ourselves. It can be a little uncomfortable, but it's powerful. If you're someone who really prides yourself on your patience, it might be worth asking, what parts of my life are so consistently frustrating that they require this much patience? Or if you're always talking about your hustle and hard work, it might be a good time to check for the silent opposites: burnout, stress, maybe relationships that are getting ignored. So this all leads us to a final and I think really beautiful conclusion. If all this loud, noisy virtue is a sign that something is broken, then where does the real thing live? Where does true, healthy virtue hang out? It lives in the silence. And this really is the bottom line. When things are whole, a relationship built on real trust, a company with genuine integrity, a society with actual justice, the virtues just flow. They're silent, they're effortless, they're just part of the air you breathe. It's only when things start to crack and fall apart that the shouting has to begin. So I'll leave you with this to think about. Your body, when it's healthy, a friendship that's just easy and reliable, the parts of your work that just flow without any drama. What are the important things in your life that are succeeding so quietly, so effortlessly, that maybe you've forgotten to even notice them? That's probably where the real stuff is.